Ellen Molloy is one of Ireland's most promising young football talents. You might know her through Wexford Youths in the Women's Premier Division, or maybe it's in an Irish context with the green shirt on. Maybe you don't know her at all, but you need to know her story. She was just finding her footing at international level last year when disaster struck. She became acquainted with those three little letters that are plaguing women's football at the minute. ACL. She's part of that club that no one wants to be a part of, but at 19 she's already been to hell and back in footballing terms. But that story of injury, comeback and battle with mental identity will surely serve her for years to come in her career. She might be only getting started, but she already has 6 international caps to her name, and I'm sure she'll be looking to break back in there with the girls in green, especially after the World Cup just gone, which she would have been watching from at home, but I'm sure she'll be hoping it isn't their last. For now though, it's Wexford Youths that get to enjoy her sublime exploits. There the Kilkenny woman lines up alongside Rianna Jarrett, Kylie Murphy and Ciara Rossiter, and who wouldn't they strike fear into really? We explore all of that and more in this chat, so be sure and leave us a like, subscribe and a comment with your thoughts, and I hope you enjoy it. So, Ellen Molloy, long time no talk. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. What have you made of the Women's Premier Division season so far? I know obviously you were sidelined for quite a lot of it, but it must be kind of interesting looking on from there as opposed to playing on the pitch.
Yeah, well, obviously from a personal point of view, and like with Wexford, we were a bit disappointed with how the season went. But I think overall, like definitely the standard looks to have improved again, and like TG Caher are like showing a lot more games, so it's really good for the league. And yeah, it's just exciting to be involved because it looks like it's growing every year.
For sure. And what's your thoughts on Peamount winning? I know a lot of people were tipping maybe Shamrock Rovers, the newcomers into the league.
Well, I think they deserved it this year. They were probably the most consistent throughout the year, and fair play to them because it's not easy to win a league, and yeah, so they deserved it. So fair play.
We're obviously yet to find out who's going to win the cup, but as you say, there's probably more competition than ever. How did you find it watching on, as you say, not being involved? It must have been kind of a weird one for you this time around.
Yeah, it was quite frustrating. I was like hoping to be back for that cup game, and then just like 2 weeks before it, I picked up a quad strain, like, and it was just frustrating because my whole rehab, like, I hadn't picked up any niggles or anything, and then just before I was back, so that was quite frustrating. It's obviously I was like hoping to play and like get back into it, but look, that's just the way it is. We were again disappointed with the cup as well, but um, it looks to be like really competitive and really exciting, and you couldn't really call. Usually in like years ago, you could kind of call who was going to be the top two or who were going to be the top four, but this year, like you didn't know, like you had Sligo, you had Athlone, um, like big teams like Galway were out in the first round as well as us. Like it was big teams being out early, so yeah, it just makes the whole league and the cup exciting and just like women's football in Ireland. So it's really good to see.
For sure. Now, for those who don't know, hate to bring it up, but obviously the injury back in September 22 that came against Treaty United, I believe. What were you thinking? Did you know straight away that it was your ACL, or what was your kind of thoughts around it?
When I turned and I like could heard like I heard the whatever the noise, I initially was like hoping it was like my kneecap being dislocated, even though there's no real like impact for that to happen. But that was my initial thought, and I went down and well, I looked down at my knee and it looked fine, and that's when I was kind of like, oh no, I think I know what this is. But even after that, like I definitely was in a lot of denial because like I walked off the pitch and kind of it was starting to feel better, and like on the initial test it wasn't coming like positive for ACL. So even when I got the MRI, I still think for about a week I was like I should maybe get a second one just to prove it. But um yeah, like I think everyone at the back of their mind kind of knew what it was, but was like hoping it was something different. But yeah.
How long did it take you then from when the injury actually happened to finding out that it was an ACL?
A day I got my MRI Sunday, like so the match was Saturday evening, and Ravi, our doctor, he put a request into Wexford Hospital, and they rang me on Sunday morning saying they couldn't get an MRI till Wednesday. And then I rang Ravi, and about I'd say 10 minutes later, they rang me back saying they'd get an MRI for me that day at 4. So I got my MRI on Sunday at 4 and then got the results Monday. So it was quick enough, but it felt it felt like it was like I was waiting for about a week. But yeah.
You pulled through with the connections then.
Yeah. Ravi's some man.
Do you remember what you were thinking then at the time? Because obviously, as you say, you kind of don't want to even think about it, that it is going to be such a long-term kind of injury. And like, were you majorly disappointed or straight just like, okay, I want to get to work and get back as soon as possible?
Probably a bit of both. Like I think I didn't really know what what to do, and I always kind of would have said to my friends in school and stuff like, oh, like I need to think about, like, I can't just base everything off soccer because what if I got injured? But I don't think I ever thought about what if I actually got injured. And obviously it was just really bad timing as well with Wexford and stuff. So um yeah, I think I was very like shocked, and took me, as much as I was really good at my doing my prehab before the surgery. I did everything like to a T, but at the same time, outside of that, I was just a bit like lost, I guess. Um, but yeah, I think overall I was very determined. Even like as soon as I got injured, I was very determined to get back as quick and as good as possible. So yeah.
When you say you felt a bit lost, is like, do you mean kind of in regards what you would do without football? Like,
Yeah, like I kind of guess I didn't realize how much of my life was revolved around football until it was taken away from me. Like, even I actually feel like I did better in school because of football, because I had that kind of, okay, I'll study now because I have to get this study done because I'm training later. And when I didn't have that, like I felt like I couldn't study because I was like, sure, I have nothing else to do. Like, kind of like I was in UCD at the time. I ended up taking the year out because I chose the wrong course, because I just went for the scholarship and not actually thought about my life outside of football. But um, yeah, then I just decided to take the year out and rehab and reapply again. So I'm doing PE teaching at the moment. But I think if I didn't get injured, I probably would still be in UCD doing that course, because it was like I just do the academics and then have the football. And I never really thought about it until that happened. So yeah.
a whole lot in that now.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll go back for a second. So when you find out you're injured, and then obviously you're talking about that, like, what will you do without football? How did you find yourself like getting through that mentally? Because obviously physically there's like the incremental steps as to, the recovery methods. But like in your own head, how are you, like, that must have been very, very tough.
Yeah, like at the time I was actually living in college with Avi and Clancy, and one of the other girls, Neve Phelan, who I went to school with. I'd be really good friends. So I was around like two of my really close friends, but I was still like, I can't do this. Like UC is so big and getting around. So definitely the first, I'd say, like 2, 3 weeks were very tough, because I just was kind of didn't really know what I was doing. But I think the club, like Wexford, definitely were a massive help, and my family and friends around me. And even though I wasn't able to play, like I never really missed trainings or matches, because I just said, Joe, I wouldn't have missed them if I wasn't injured. So I'm still a part of the team. So I like tried to keep myself as much involved as possible, and the girls really helped with that. So I had a lot of good people around me at that time. So
And did you speak to anyone at that time who obviously had went through it before? Even like, there's someone on your team there in Wexford Youths, and in an Irish context, there's a lot too as well.
yeah, unfortunately, I had a lot of people to talk to. Yeah, like Rianna obviously came a bit later, but she was a really big help. Rossi was a massive help to me. Everyone really, like I was, and then obviously Della had done it like a few weeks after me, so we were kind of, I was a bit ahead of her, but we were still kind of bouncing ideas off each other and kind of knew how we both felt at different stages. So I had a lot of people around me to help, and just even people who hadn't gone through it, but they were still, there for me. Like I just everyone really at the club were like such good help. So yeah.
And how are you like motivating yourself to get back? Because like you must be having to think of something or have a countdown in your mind nearly to try and get there.
I think like being at trainings and just watching the girls play, and that was kind of enough motivation for me because I just loved playing with the girls. And then we had so many exciting signings. Obviously, didn't really go to plan this year, but like I remember in January when we were getting all these new players, I was like, I just have to get back because I just have to play with this team. Like it's really exciting. And yeah, so I think just going to all the trainings and the matches, and like say if things didn't go our way and we weren't winning, that was more motivation. Like I need to get back to try and help the team. So yeah, that was probably I didn't really need a lot of motivation. I just wanted to get back.
And you were touching on earlier how you moved from UCD down to UL. Did this all force you to think of life outside of football as kind of another avenue as well?
Yeah, definitely. I always kind of had PE teaching down, and then on the CAO, and then I got a scholarship for UC, and I kind of changed like my plans. But I definitely had that year to just think about if I don't have like when I didn't actually have football, like what would I want to do? So yeah, I just ended up taking the year out and working and rehabbing, and I actually really enjoyed it. But I'm definitely like ready to go back to college and get my life together again.
Flip the coin then, did it make you feel like that football is what you want to do, or will you kind of continue the both in tandem and see what happens?
Um, I think it kind of did make me realize football, but at the same time, I know I have a lot of work to do to get back to where I want. So just kind of take it as it goes, and I just kind of right now want to get back playing like I was before, and get my confidence back, and then see what happens next.
We've probably all had a look at the video now when you first ran back onto the pitch. It's so heartwarming, I think, to see because you can just see even like your own team. Obviously, Kylie is in the video. You can see how delighted she is, but even the other team are like, yes.
Yeah.
What was it like running back on?
It was like it was quite emotional, but it was like on TV, and I wanted to try and be professional, and then Kylie and Rossi came running over hugging me, and I was like, lads, I haven't even kicked the ball yet. But I was really nervous as well. But it was, yeah, I can't really describe the feeling.
Was that ticking through your mind then, like the possibility of a repeat injury, or were you just straight back in, see what happens kind of way?
I think it definitely kind of goes right through your head, like before going on the pitch and stuff. But I think once I was on the pitch playing, didn't really think about that. And then with games as well, like kind of grow in confidence. Like I think I maybe like with tackles and stuff, I was a bit like not fully back to myself. But then as the games came and I got a few knocks and stuff, like I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. So touch wood, everything stays going that way. So yeah.
And was there ever any hope, Ellen, that you'd be back in time for the World Cup? Obviously, I know that was the big talking point at the time. There was even a few articles, maybe you looking towards that as a goal. Would you say it was ever kind of feasible?
Um, to be honest, it probably now like it was definitely like a motivator for me, but I think like looking back, not really like I was only back fully training in like June, and even at that, like that was probably quite quick. Like I think I was only like 7 months then, and um like if I would have probably been rushing, and even now I'm not. I still don't feel like I'm back to where I want to be and where I need to be for that level. So yeah, I think it was a good motivator, like just to have to kind of keep going for that like slight possibility. But like I don't think it was ever really realistic looking back at how much work you actually have to put in to get there. But
And what does that work involve physically? We kind of went over the mental side of it there, but are you doing it in month-to-month goals, or is it every 3 months, or how do you kind of check in with that?
well, I did my rehab in UPMC in Waterford. My physio was Derek O'Neill, and like he was so good. We kind of had, I was like, I want to be back as quick as I can, but like obviously as safe and as good. Like I want to, and I was very like committed and motivated, and I was like, I'll do whatever I need to do. And so I was in there like most days, um, just like obviously kind of the first stage is like very slow and just like you're not able to do a whole lot. And that's probably the first like 3 months, and then after that it's quite like it's quite intense, which I probably didn't realize. Like I knew it was going to be a long process and wouldn't be playing for ages, but I didn't realize like how much work you had to put in just to be able to kick a ball, like never mind be back to like your best. Like so my first kind of 6 to 8 months were probably with Derek in Waterford doing like gym work, and they had this anti-gravity treadmill where you could kind of run without full impact. So that was really cool. I was like on that like 3 times a week doing that. And then when I was back on the pitch, I did my running and all that with Damien Byrne. He's our S&C, and like he was so good. Although like I've never been ran as much in my life, and I dreaded it at the time. Like he like the work he did with me was unreal, and I definitely couldn't have done it without the two of them. Like they were massive help. So yeah, it was very tough, but like very rewarding. Like I'm like looking back now and I'm like, yeah, it was worth it.
And during that time, I know you mentioned there's a lot of contact with Wexford, but are you checking in with the Irish team? Because obviously when they qualified, that was probably only 2 or 3 weeks. It must have been after your injury. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was probably a mixed bag of emotions, I'd say, watching that even.
Yeah, I was actually on the way back from training with Rossi. It was myself and Rossi in the car and we were watching the match. And like obviously we were both like delighted, but she was kind of looking over at me like, "Are you okay?" And it was like obviously it was unreal and it was so good to watch, but it definitely was a bit of a mixed emotion feeling because I was just in camp. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks before that, and then next thing I'm out for 9 months. But yeah, it was like throughout the whole process, like I had a few of the girls texting me and checking in, and Vera was on to me a few times, like a good few times throughout, and Tom. So I definitely didn't feel like fully forgotten. So that was nice.
What was it like for you watching them at the World Cup then?
Um, again, like I kind of had accepted I'd been out for a while, so I was just delighted for them, and it was just great to see like the see on the world stage. It was kind of cool in a way to know like the inside. I knew what how camp worked like on the inside and outside of what most people see. So that was kind of cool to have a bit of insight. But of course you're always kind of thinking like if things were different, what could have been. But overall I was just delighted to watch them, and like it was great to see how well they did and how like we're so close to the top nations and we can definitely push on. So yeah.
Does that make you excited as well? Obviously the prospect of a new manager now and everything that you could maybe achieve in a green shirt too.
Yeah, it's a kind of in a way a fresh start. Like I'm kind of coming back and there's like a new manager who, a new person to prove to and stuff. So it is exciting, but it's also like you have to impress. So I'm just trying to work hard and try and get my name back in there. But yeah.
Before the injury though, you were definitely impressing Vera anyways, and you were, nip and tuck there. Nearly, it must have been so frustrating, nearly like becoming a regular then and then the injury. Like what would that have been like for you? You know, obviously you're watching everything unfold and then Vera moving on. How would you reflect on, I suppose, your Irish journey so far? And it probably came to life really under Vera Pauw.
Yeah, like I'm definitely so grateful for Vera for giving me all those opportunities. And yeah, I just like I kind of looking back now, I'm like, Jesus, did I like I didn't really realize like how much I had achieved, and definitely have like more of a hunger to push on and get back there again, and like just really appreciate it when I am there. So yeah.
And do you be watching the games now at the minute?
Yeah, of course I do. I watch them all and support the team, and like it's great to see Erin back in. Like Joe, we'd be good friends. We would have played underage, and she deserved it. So I was delighted to see her back in. And yeah.
And obviously then you're talking about there, the WNL link, I guess, in the Irish team. Are you excited to see, because every time it seems to be there's more and more representation of different players throughout the league and making it into the Irish squad?
Yeah, it's really exciting. And it shows like the standard of the league. So hopefully we can keep pushing on and get a few more names in the squad. So yeah.
By the time this comes out, they'll be looking ahead to the Albania game. The Nations League is going quite well for them so far. What do you think we'll get out of it come the end of it?
Um, yeah, it's really exciting. Like we went to watch the game in the Aviva, and it was crazy to see like the transition in a year's like how much it's grown. And I definitely think that we can win all the games and push on. So it's just really exciting to be a part of women's football, especially in Ireland right now.
Probably as well, given there's sort of a new style being implemented as well. I know a lot of people were calling for more attacking football, and sure that'd suit you down to the ground.
Yeah, I love to attack, not much defending, but yeah. Yeah, it's really exciting, and hopefully like we definitely have the players to implement that style of play. So hopefully that's what we go to do, and with the new manager in our Eileen or whoever it is, like I think we can definitely try and play more attacking football and compete with the top teams.
You mentioned earlier Rianna Jarrett joining Wexford Youths. Was that an exciting prospect for you, obviously, to learn off her and have her back with Wexford as well?
Yeah, we were only saying that we've never actually played together. I was training with Wexford like since I think I was 14, and Rihanna obviously would have been there and kind of just before she moved abroad. And um like I remember training with her and like playing in matches and training with her, and like we had like a really good connection. I love playing with her. And then the season I signed, she went away, and we were only saying like we've never got a chance to play. But then my first game back, she pulled up with an injury in her Achilles, so we still haven't got a chance to play with each other. But hopefully sometime soon.
Yeah, it'll be coming. You'll be a dangerous duo when that gets into play.
Hopefully, but yeah, I've learned a lot from Rihanna. Even she's coached me when I was younger, so um, yeah, like I definitely have a lot of respect for her, and like just love learning off everyone on the team. Like not just Rihanna. Like obviously there's like Kylie, Nick, Rossi. Like I could keep naming the whole team. There's like we all kind of learn from each other, and I've definitely like they kind of made me the player I am today, and I'm so grateful for everyone in the club.
And a lot of changes coming at Wexford too. Obviously, you guys looking for a new manager as well, and then changing to Wexford United. I'd say you can't wait even to get kickstarted next season already.
Yeah, like I'm a bit raging that just as I feel like I'm back, like the season is over. But yeah, it is exciting to see. I don't really know what to expect, but um it should be exciting this new era, I guess. So yeah, I just have to wait and see and try and push on for next year.
Um, Chatting to you before this, I was saying that I was watching back an interview you did with us a few years ago. And I noticed in it, you were saying, oh my God, Katie McCabe is just sitting over there when you're in the Irish dressing room. But it's such a change even in that period of time. Like you're well fitted in there now and you're up there with the best of them now, Ellen.
Oh, I don't know about that now. I definitely have a lot more work to do and I feel like a lot more to give. But um yeah, definitely like the year out kind of gave me time to like reflect on things I have achieved and done that I probably didn't like appreciate at the time and kind of realize. But yeah, I definitely just have a new kind of hunger to push on and get better and like really make the most of my career, I guess. I don't know what to call it.
So maybe we'll see you doing that now next season, firing on all cylinders.
Hopefully.
Perfect. Well, we're looking forward to it anyways. Thanks for joining us today, Ellen, and best of luck with Ireland, Wexford, and everything else too.
Thanks so much.